You do what you're supposed to do. You prepare. You think ahead. You double check your work and you wait until you're sure. And then you watch someone else get the attention. How many times has that happened? And it's not because they were louder and not because they were smarter than you. They're just earlier. And this is the part no one prepares you for. Doing things right doesn't guarantee being sane. If you ever left a meeting thinking, man, I should have said that sooner, or finished a day feeling invisible without knowing why, just stay with me. This episode is not about confidence. It's about motivation. It's about explaining something you've been living inside for a long time. Welcome to the Drew Chaz Podcast. This is where quiet leaders rise, deep thinkers win, and overthinking becomes your greatest strategy. Each week, we're going to unpack simple, powerful tools to help you grow with confidence, clarity, and calm momentum. If you're ready for real growth without the noise, well, let's just dive right into it. Welcome back to the Drew Chaz Podcast. I'm Drew, and today we're starting a new series called The Irresistible Introvert. This one comes deep from my heart because I know that you're irresistible. You just got to understand that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing you're doing that isn't correct. You just need some guidance on how to get there because you already have everything it takes. And this series is for people who do good work, think deeply, and still feel overlooked. Not because they lack ability and not because they lack drive, but because the system they're operating in just wasn't built to recognize quiet strength. So if you're an introvert, you were probably taught something early on. Keep your head down, do solid work, and be reliable, right? And people will notice you and you'll be a great employee and yeah, all that stuff. But you know what? You don't get ahead. You don't get noticed and you don't get those promotions. And eventually someone will notice, right? So you focused on quality. You focused on preparation. You focused on being responsible. But what no one explained is this. Recognition doesn't follow quality alone. It follows visibility signals. And that's where the disconnect just begins. So let's get inside the introvert's mind. And very little happens by accident. There's a constant internal process running. Am I wrong? Is this accurate enough? Is this framed correctly? And is now the right moment? Will this land the way I intended? This isn't insecurity, it's responsibility. And introverts don't rush because they care about impact. They care about consequences and they care about getting it right. All through my career, I was always looked at as the great employee. Never did anything wrong, always got the work done on time, always saved the day. But you know what was weird is I never got the promotions. I got those measly 2% raises every year, and they kept bringing the work. Does that sound like you? Because like you, I cared about getting it right. And so before I spoke, I would think. And before I would act, I would evaluate. And before I entered, of course, I just waited. The problem is that thinking has no natural finish line. So instead of deciding, what do? You refine. And instead of entering, you wait a little bit longer. And when you're thinking, this moment basically passes. And the conversation just moves on. The decision gets made and the opportunity closes. Later, clarity shows up, doesn't it? Not during the meeting, but after it. Not during the conversation, but on the drive home, right? And that's when the frustration just hits. You replay the moment, you see exactly what you should have said slowly, quietly, you start questioning yourself, not because you were wrong, but because you were late. And here's the part most people just never explain is that modern environments reward early presence and not careful consideration and not careful contribution. Research published by Harvard Business Review shows that people who speak within the first 5 minutes of a meeting are more likely to be perceived as leaders, regardless of the quality of what they say. And that matters because perception forms before precision arrives, and introverts tend to speak once clarity arrives. But by then, the frame is already set. So even strong ideas feel secondary. This isn't because your ideas lack value, it's because timing shapes perception. And over time, this creates a dangerous story in your own head. You start believing you're not assertive enough, not confident enough, and not visible enough. But the real issue is structure. You're operating with quiet strengths inside loud systems. Most advice tells introverts to fix this by pushing harder, speak up more, post more, be confident. So what happens? You try and something just feels off. You override your natural timing and you perform instead of just thinking. You force that presence instead of choosing it. And the cost isn't just energy, it's trust. You start trusting the system more than yourself. And that just produces more doubt for your own instincts. And that once kept you totally grounded. And eventually you either burn out or you retreat. And neither option leads to any kind of recognition. Structure tells your mind when thinking is complete. And structure tells your body when it's time to enter. Quiet authority forms when introverts stop waiting for certainty and start choosing moments. Not many moments, intentional ones. This doesn't mean speaking more, it means speaking with timing. It also doesn't mean posting constantly. It means creating a recall. When structure is added, your strengths don't change. They totally land. Look, you're not passive. You're deliberate, and you're not invisible. You're unsignaled. Nothing about you needs fixing. It's what you need is a system that matches how you think. That's what this whole series is about. In the next episode, we're going to break down the 3 quiet authority patterns and show you exactly where your influence gets delayed. So remember this. Your analytical mind isn't what's holding you back. It's your greatest strength when you know how to use it. Look, if this resonated with you, please leave a review. I value those reviews, whether they're good or bad, so that I can provide the value that they need to be able to move up in the company and get those raises and get noticed and be seen, or to start their online business or further themselves online without giving up the introverted strengths that you possess. Leave the review and subscribe and pass this along to other introverts that you know. It's so valuable to see fellow introverts moving up in the company or getting ahead online. That's really what drives me. So thanks again, and we'll be talking to you next week. Take care. And remember, you be you. Thanks for listening to the Drew Chaz Podcast. If today's episode helped you see your strength in a new way, make sure to follow the show so that you never miss an episode. And if you want support turning overthinking into real momentum, share this podcast with another introvert who really needs it. I appreciate you so much. So keep leading quietly and growing boldly. And again, remember, your analytical mind isn't what's holding you back. It's your strength if you know how to use it. So until next time, keep thinking deeply and moving forward. And most of all, you be you.